Welcome back guys to another GTA video, and in today's one we are continuing on with the Lowriders career progress, and up today we have 2 of the 4-player missions. First up is community outreach, and helping me out with these missions is Nodix, Saz and Grexy. Now I am the only one that still needs any of the tier 4 requirements. However, on this one I do only need the 50% health and the 80% accuracy, so I'll basically be sitting back once again doing absolutely nothing. But starting things off, we are driving around the lower end of Los Santos taking out a few targets. Riding alongside me is Nodix on this one, and in order to keep me safe he's going to park the car out the way whilst he runs up to the enemies and takes them all out. And as you can see from the minimap, it doesn't take him long at all just to take out those half dozen enemies or so that are there. Once that second area has been cleared out, I'll go and pick him up and we can move on to the final area in this first part of the mission. Once again I am going to just drive past the actual area itself and park up on the other side of the street. That will allow me to stay well out the way and maintain that health, and it will also allow Nodix a perfect angle to take out the remaining enemies over in front of the shops. Unfortunately they were kind of crouching down behind a few of the vehicles, so it did take a little bit longer just to pick off these last 2, but he did eventually get there, and with them gone we headed over to the final area. And as Lamar has just told us, it is at the large parking lot over by the airport, but I am not going anywhere near there. Far too many enemies that can take away my health, so I'm going to park up here and allow the boys to go and do their work. And as you can see, it didn't take them long at all just to clear out all those enemies in the parking lot. There were a good number, but they made light work of them. And of course on our way out from the car park we do get a good number of enemies coming at us with vehicles, so it is best to take as many of them out at the start as we can, just to reduce the number of vehicles that do end up chasing us back to Benny's. And with the majority of those vehicles taken out, we can then make it back all the way to Benny's with a fairly easy drive. Now there will still be a number of enemies that do come at you in the vehicles, but not as many as there would have been had we not taken them out to start with. But we do eventually get it all the way back to Benny's, and that is mission complete.
What's happening, moving gang? Woo, there's some beautiful cars, man. What kind of fool's gonna go out and pull some murders in cars like that? Ha! Fools that know they working for the next big man.
And then coming out of the cutscene you can see that we do get both of the 50% damage and the 80% accuracy. But moving on once again to Funeral Party. Now this one I did only need the 80% accuracy, which of course means that I am just sitting back once again in the watermelon doing absolutely nothing. But jumping into the first part of the mission, it is heading over to the gas station here, taking out all the enemies and jumping into the funeral car so that we can blend in with the rest of the funeral party. Once again helping out on this one and doing all the shooting is Nodix, Saz and Grexy, and they make light work once again of all the enemies over here at the gas station. But once they're all done, it's just a matter of jumping into the funeral car and driving up to catch up with the rest of the funeral procession and heading up to the churchyard. Once up at the churchyard we are going to follow the enemies all the way into the courtyard. You can see Nodix is still in the back of that funeral car, though what he is doing is he's going to call in the watermelon Karuma, which he is then going to drive just inside this white fence here, so as once the cutscene has finished we can then make a beeline straight towards the Karuma to keep ourselves safe. From here all we need to do is clear out the graveyard of all the enemies. Now as it is only the 80% accuracy that I require, the boys don't need to worry too much about their health or using snacks and armour, as we don't need that requirement. And just a reminder, if you are struggling with any of these 4-player missions, it is sometimes best just to split them up. concentrate on the hard mode without using stacks and armour, and then do a second run through where you only need to worry about your health and accuracy. But it doesn't take the boys long to clear out the graveyard, and once that's done we can head up to the car park once again to get in the hearses. But before we can do that, we do have a couple of vehicles coming in with more enemies that we do need to take out before we can jump inside the hearse. Now, I will just say I will not be jumping in the hearse, it will only be Saz and Nodix driving them. Grexy will be my chauffeur in the watermelon to head back to the final checkpoint. But with all those enemies taken out, the boys can then jump into the hearses and get them back over to that final checkpoint. Now, there will be some enemies on the road, but they are easily avoided and taken out with the pistols. And there you have it, mission passed.
That's it.
And coming out the cutscene, you can see that I do get that 80% accuracy, but jumping into the career progress itself, you can see the only things that I do have left is the 50% on peace offerings and the 80% on desperate times and peace offerings. But there you have it for me for today, guys. If you did enjoy the video, do leave a like, and if you are new here, why not consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.